This is Tao Chow with MTG Forge, and today we're playing Hunted Orb. Alright, so let's see. Now I've got 2 playable cards and Hushwing Gryff, so we might be able to make this work. Let's keep it, see what happens. Good luck, high five. Okay, we're playing something green. Elves, alright. This might be bad for us, because we might be a little too slow. Okay, so, okay, Godless Shrine's pretty good. Well, let's get this out, and we're gonna go slow anyway, so let's Duress him and see what happens. See what he's got in hand. Oh, Crater Hoop Behemoth, okay, well, it might be over for us pretty quick, depending on how fast he can ramp it up. Okay, so Hushwing Gryff might be just a little bit too slow. Alright. Although, he seems to be off his mana, which is good. Okay, so next turn I can't do anything anyways, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play my Terramorphic Expanse. I guess he's not off of his mana. Okay. Okay, so opponent is going pretty quick here. Okay, well, that changes things. Well, I think I still play Plains. And then next turn I'll go Godless Shrine. The only problem is with Elves just comes out so fast, it might be too hard for us to beat them, because we have a little bit of a setup time. And so right now he can pump, he can get a whole crap load of mana out pretty quick. Oh, especially with Elvish Archdruid. Yeah, this is gonna be kind of tough. What might be good actually is an Engineered Explosive. Maybe I'll throw that into the sideboard here. We'll see what happens. Because I don't really have a ton of removal. Right now, like, Pyroclasm would be awesome. Right? But unfortunately I'm not running red. Alright, so he's going to swing for 3. Okay, I think, oh wow. Okay. So, tapping everything. Getting Elvish Champion out. Alright, and I think I might be toast. Alright. Alright, well, okay, well, let's play Swamp then, and go tap, 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 Hushwing Gryff, see what we can do. Okay, so if I can get to the next turn without dying here, then I might have a chance because I can get Eater of Days out. But I think I'm toast. So he's gonna get... Yeah, he can get so much mana out. He can even get the Crater Hoop Behemoth out. Well, this might be a quick one. So he's just gonna swing for... What's this, 12? Yep, alright. Alright, so swing for 12, and that's gonna probably be it. Yeah, just too fast. Okay, I'm gonna concede here. What can we do in the sideboard? Alright, let's see. Elvish Archdruid, that's a mana ability. That's an activated ability. Well, we'll see what happens here. I might be able to turn off Heritage Druid, but I don't think Pithing Needle is going to help me very much. Leyline of Sanctity, certainly not going to help me much. Welding Jar, not going to help. The only thing I can see is Hero's Downfall, maybe. Going in for Apostle's Blessing. Okay, Duress is not really going to help that much. Okay, maybe I can go in and turn off Heritage Druid. But I don't know, I don't think it's that strong. Alright, well, let's see what we can do. Okay, so opponent is... if I was the opponent, I wouldn't change anything. This deck is just so fast. Okay, would you like to play first? Yes. Alright, well, this is okay, I guess. It's got almost everything I need, so we'll keep this. So turn 1, Swamp. Turn 2, Isolated Chapel. Turn 2, Isolated Chapel, and then Dark Confidant. Okay, Land of War Elf, of course, coming out. Elves is one of my favorite decks to give to beginners because it's very straightforward to play, and it's also pretty powerful. Unless your opponent is playing... oh wow, okay, never mind, change of plan. Tap, tap, Torpor Orb. Okay, yeah, unless your opponent has Burn, and against Burn it's a terrible matchup. But here I might actually have a good shot at things here. Okay, sorry, occasionally you have to pause the game because... or pause the video because I'm still coughing. I just can't get over this. Man, it's just like... I'm getting better, but man, it's so slow. Okay, so he's swinging for 1. Next turn I'll be able to get Treacherous Pit-fiend out. Okay, and... do I do Lightning Greaves? Yeah, I think I'll just do Treacherous Pit-fiend. Okay, so Treacherous Pit-fiend, and then next turn I'll do Bob. Okay, so I'll be able to block a little bit here. My opponent, the only good thing about Elves is that they run very few lands, so they can sometimes get mana screwed. The bad thing is they don't actually need that many lands. Oh, Archdruid. Archdruid is just a killer. Hopefully I draw... oh, okay, so if I can get another mana, another land... oh, so good. Okay, so tap, tap, and tap Hero's Downfall. Kill that Archdruid. Alright, and move to attack, swing. Okay, so is he going to block? No, of course not. He wants those mana dorks to help him out. Okay, so what else he's got here? Probably another Archdruid or something amazing. Imperious Prefect. Oh, perfect. Okay. Alright, so he's going to swing in for 4 here. Okay. Now, if I can get another 4 mana out, if I get another mana here, then I'm going to cast Eater of Days. Okay, so I did not. Okay. Now, what do I do? Do I get rid of Perfect? Okay, I think what I need to do is cast... Dark Confidant. I think I need to get him out. Okay. And I'll just swing. My opponent's probably not going to want to trade. Okay, but I'm a little bit ahead of it. He can ramp up so fast. I'm going to have to play pretty carefully here. So if he gets another Archdruid or something like that, things are going to go really bad for me. Or Elvish Champion would be bad. There's so many bad things he could play. Okay, Elvish Champion, yeah. Okay, so they're all 3/3s now. Okay. Okay, that's, again, really bad. Okay, so what do I do next turn? Do I just get rid of... okay, let's see here. Okay, always yield. Let's see what I get. If I can have a plan here. Might be a little... okay, Path to Exile is actually pretty strong here. Okay, so I can get something out. So I maybe get another Dark Confidant out. And I can Path to Exile his Elvish Champion or Imperious Perfect. Yeah, Imperious Perfect is probably a better one. I don't really care about the Forest Walk. Okay, so let's get out another Dark Confidant. Okay, and... okay, I'm going to go in and swing. Or do I? Yeah, I'll swing. Hopefully I'll just kill him. Okay, so opponent's probably going to try and figure out blocks here. Probably block with his Elvish Warrior. That's what I would do. So, that's what I would do and just kill him, yeah. Okay, he's going to come back to the battlefield though, bigger and stronger. Okay. So he's back onto the battlefield. Okay, and I can, in next turn, what I can do is maybe surprise him and Path to Exile that Elvish champion. So we'll see what happens here. Having 2 Dark Confidants might kill me though. It's going to be pretty rough. Okay, that's not so good. Alright, well, well, darn. Okay, let's see what he does here. So he's tapping for Imperious Perfect. Okay. Would be awesome if I had a board wipe here. Maybe that's what I need to board in, some Wrath of Gods. Because I can rebuild my board state way faster than he can once he's wiped out. Oh, okay. So another Treacherous Pit-fiend. Okay, more Paths to Exile. Okay, so let's see what I can do here. I could get out another Treacherous Pit-fiend, swing, double path, take out both his Elvish champions, or his champion and his Imperious Perfect, drop them all down, or I could just play Eater of Days, but Eater of Days is probably not good enough. Okay, well, let's do that. Let's throw out another Treacherous Pit-fiend, or Pit Dweller. Okay. Alright. We'll go in and swing. Okay, with swing at the crew. See if he blocks. How is he going to block here? Okay, so see what happens. Okay, so he's going to try and kill that with his warrior. And a Llanowar Elf. Okay. And, okay, so we are going to tap for white and Path to Exile Elvish Champion. Okay. So that makes them a tiny bit smaller. Okay, and then we'll Path to Exile Imperious Perfect. Okay, that'll make them smaller, so I'm trading my Dark Confidants, but that's okay because they're going to end up killing me too soon anyways, and I get to keep both my Treacherous Pit-fiends. Okay, so alright, so I'm giving us some extra mana, but he doesn't have that many cards in hand, so we'll see what we can do. Alright, so that was a nice combat trick. I might have been able to secure this game too here. Okay, so what's he got? Another Mystic? I don't care about that. Not too much. Okay, so it's, oh, something big. Zuri, okay. That sucks. But I can get Eater of Days out. Another Elvish Champion. Gosh. Okay. I can destroy Zuri. Okay, so Swamp. That's good. Okay, now what do? I can destroy Zuri, hold back 2 guys for blocks. My opponent's empty-handed. Okay, so let's try that. So we go 3, Hero's Downfall, destroy Zuri. Okay. Next turn he'll be able to strike me for 6, depending on what he gets. Okay, get some Lightning Greaves out. I'll just throw that onto, I don't know, this guy. Just for now. Okay, and pass. Okay, so opponent's turn. He can get maybe 2 creatures out here. Okay, so Next turn, I'll be able to get Eater of Days out and swing hard. Oh, and Hunted Horror. Okay. Well, let's get Eater of Days out. 9/8 Trampler with flying. Okay. So we will transfer my Lightning Greaves over to Eater of Days. Okay, and... Alright, so, okay. Move to attacks. Now, do I just swing with everybody? Yeah, I just think I swing with everyone here. Okay. So, let's see what happens here. Okay, so he's gonna block, and okay. Okay, so that guy comes back under my control. He's got 2 Elvish Champions. I still have 1 blocker, so I'm still okay. Oh, am I gonna win against Elves? Wow. If I do, it's gonna be amazing. Heritage Druid's not gonna be enough. Okay, especially I have a flying 9/8. Okay. Okay, for 6. Alright, we'll block one of them. Okay. So he swings for 3. Alright. Alright, so I think next turn I just win. Alright, awesome. Whoa, that was a close one. Okay, totally tough battle against Elves here, but I kind of got lucky with a little bit of the combat trickery there with Path To Exiles. Alright, so... Inquisition, Pithing Needle I think is not really that good right now. I don't think I'd really turn anything off. I think Apostle's Blessing might be better, just for a little bit more combat trickery, so give him protection and maybe I can win that way. It's going to be a tough one. Elves is such a tough deck to beat. I'm going to be surprised, honestly, if I beat them, but here goes. You never know. That's the cool thing in Magic, is that you never know who's going to win. Elves is a really, really strong deck. Okay, so at this point I wanted to amend my audio, mainly because I think I was a little bit unfair towards my opponent. So this is actually a re-recording of this third round. But nonetheless, I think at this point I'm thinking that I'm probably going to lose because Elves is just so explosive compared to this deck. It takes a little bit of time to set everything up for us, and it just kind of makes it difficult for us to win. Okay, so our opponent's going is ready. And let's see what happens. Okay, so this isn't the ideal deck. It's okay, but we do have some plays here. And so what we can do is we can play Godless Shrine to start with, and possibly isolate a Chapel, go into Dark Confidant, and then Hushwing Gryff. Right, so turn 1, just land. Turn 2, land, Dark Confidant. Turn 3, land, Hushwing Gryff. Right, so, okay, opponent's playing his Land War Elf. That's normal. You're going to always expect them to play that. Okay, now what I'm really wanting is to get the Torpor Orb out, but Hushwing Gryff will do the job, and it's kind of, as I've said in the deck tech, that's kind of our backup. So there's the Godless Shrine coming out. The opponent's probably going to play, okay, so Elvish Visionary coming out, drawing a card. Okay, and another Land War Elf, so they're always going to try and drop a bunch of mana dorks. If you do happen to play red, it's always a good idea to try and wait till they put all their elves out and then burn them out all at once. Okay, so here we go though. Probably going to cast Dark Confidant. Okay, so Dark Confidant comes out, and we are just looking to try and draw into better cards. So we don't need them out for the whole match. We just want to try and draw into some other cards, and that might really help us out. Okay, so what we're trying to do is get Hushwing Gryff out. Probably that's our plan for the next turn. So next turn we're going to probably play Swamp, Hushwing Gryff, and that's basically our backup Torpor Orb, so we'll be able to then play Hunted Horror on the next turn. Okay, now, opponent's swinging. It's kind of weird that they didn't swing with more, mainly because they should know I'm not going to want to trade Dark Confidant for a Land War Elf, especially not so early. Okay, Okay, so another Haunted Horror is actually pretty good. So next turn, I can actually play double Haunted Horror. Okay, so Hushwing Gryff. This is actually curving out really, really well. So the draws are actually getting to be very favorable for us. Okay, it's also nice because I drew the planes first, which means that Dark Confidant wouldn't have taken any life. Okay, so we got basically our Torpor Orb out. Elvish Archdruid is actually pretty awful. He's so powerful. He taps for as many mana as elves you could have, so he taps for a ridiculous amount of elves. But also he's a lord, so he pumps them up as well. So it's just kind of crazy here. At this point, trading Dark Confidant for Llanowar Elf is actually pretty good because I don't want to lose any more life, but it also kind of sets him back on his mana a little bit, right? So now I can play the Hunted Horror, okay, and I can also play my other Hunted Horror. And it's best to get these out before my opponent has any way to get rid of Hushwing Gryff, okay, especially because it's a creature. Like if there's any like plummet or something like that that an opponent might have, then they could just actually shoot it down, and then I would be kind of screwed. So it's just good to get these out as soon as possible. And now I'm willing to attack with Hushwing Gryff, mainly because he doesn't have any flyers, and I can get in an easy 2 damage. Okay, so now things are a little bit more interesting. With only 8 life, it's a little bit dangerous, but I've got a pair of 7/7s. I think this is a okay, so Craterhoof Behemoth is coming into the battlefield, and normally, I remember when I was playing this, that I thought, okay, well, I'm just toast. And I didn't understand why the opponent didn't just pump all his creatures, and I thought, well, maybe this is what I'm doing here. I'm looking at the card and thinking like maybe it's a may do effect, so he doesn't have to, it's optional. But actually what it is that Hushwing Gryff turned off the enter the battlefield effect of the Craterhoof Behemoth, and I didn't actually notice that. So I thought the opponent was just trying to stall the game, and I felt kind of bad, and that's why I'm actually re-recording this third match, mainly because I thought he was trying to just stall the game so he could win more, but it's actually not the case. The Craterhoof Behemoth didn't trigger because of his Hushwing Gryff, and I thought that was kind of unfair. Okay, so nonetheless, what I'm doing here is I'm probably just going to play out a land. That allows me to play a Lightning Greaves or an Apostle's Blessing, and also still get Hushwing Gryff. Now, Hushwing Gryff has Flash, so I can cast that on my next turn. Okay, or on my opponent's turn, and it's kind of a neat combat trick again to try and just surprise my opponent, because I know he's going to swing in, and I should be able to take out something of his with that. All right, so especially as Elvish Archdruid, that's a good target to take out. Okay, so opponent is looking to attack with something. Okay, so Shaman of the Pack again. When Shaman of the Pack comes in, your target opponent loses life equal to the number of elves you have. And again, when I first played this match, I didn't understand why the Shaman of the Pack didn't trigger. Like, and I thought again it was optional for my opponent, and he just chose not to do it. So because he wanted to beat me down or something like that. As it turns out, it's actually Hushwing Gryff again. Just shut that down, and I should have known that because that's the whole point of my deck. So I kind of was a little bit salty with the player, thinking that they were, thinking that they were delaying the game, just trying to win more. But actually, what it was is that they just couldn't do anything else. Okay, so anyways, Hunted Horror is probably going to block Craterhoof Behemoth. I'm going to flash in Hushwing Gryff, okay, as an extra blocker. Okay, and that should keep me alive long enough to go to the next round. Okay, more than that is that my opponent has 0 cards in hand, which means that any creatures I get out I take away from him are not really replaceable. It's one of the problems with Elves, and it's actually like in my Pauper Elves, I play a little bit of blue, so I splash blue to play Distant Melody. Distant Melody allows you to draw cards up to the number of creatures you have, and it can just replenish your whole hand, which is just amazing. So I actually like the blue-green elf variant. Okay, so right there I just took out most of the opponent's creatures. Now Now, I did lose my Hushwing Gryff, so it means it's going to be very difficult for me to cast anything, any more of my creatures until I get Torpor Orb and another Hushwing Gryff out. But at this point, I'm actually in very, very good shape. Opponent's got like no cards in hand, and I've got a ton of like things like Apostle's Blessing, and I'm pathing the Shaman of the Pack right now, so his biggest creature, he's just left with 2 1/1s, and I've got 2 7/7s with Trample. Okay, so at this point, I'm thinking I gotta attack. Okay, opponent's got basically on a 2 or 3 turn clock. Okay, but the problem is if I swing in with both of these Hunted Horrors, I'm going to leave the shields down. So the opponent's going to be able to swing in for whatever. And normally that's not a big deal because he can only do 2 damage. But let's say, for instance, he gets an Imperious Perfect, an Elvish Champion, or Elvish Archdruid. So he's got lots of Lords. What he could do is throw one of those down if he happened to draw one, and then each of his creatures get +1/+1, and then he'd swing for 4 and just kill me. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm choosing just to block with only one, or just to attack with only one of my Hunted Horrors and leave the other one behind for blocking. And this way, at most, my opponent's going to be able to do 2 damage to me. Okay, Elvish Visionary comes in. Okay, that's okay, but my opponent's going to have to draw an extra card, and right now I'm hoping it's something terrible like a land, and it turns out it is a land. Right, so opponent gets a land. He's got 3 people out, and I'm going to hit for 14. This is actually working out. Mathematically, is working out perfectly. Okay, he doesn't attack because he knows that he can't swing through me. Okay, I draw a Hunted Horror. I do not want to hit that because it's going to give my opponent extra creatures. So I can swing for 14 with Trample. He can only block 3 of the damage. It works out to 11, and that's why my opponent is just dead right here. Alright, so I don't think that well, obviously he's got 0 cards in hand, he's got no combat tricks. Okay, he's going to block 3 of the damage here, but that still goes out for 11. Okay, so I kill all his creatures, goes to 11, and that's pretty much the game. Alright, so anyways, I was actually really surprised that I was able to beat this deck, but nonetheless, it shows that this the Hunted Orb deck is actually pretty competitive. It's not a tier 1 deck, but it is a lot of fun to play. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.